Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Lynn Sharif here. I have been doing a series on the top 10 marriage killers. And if you have tuned in to some of my past lives, I definitely appreciate you. If you have liked anything, if you have shared my videos, I appreciate you as well. We have covered several things. We're on 7 tonight. We've covered toxic people, abuse, social media, lack of communication, addiction, no time investment, and this week we covered lack of intimacy. So why would lack of intimacy kill a marriage? I've said it before that the top 3 human needs are food, sex, and sleep. And so if you have no interest in sex, there could be many reasons for that. But the 2 that I'll cover in our time together will be emotional barriers or physical barriers. Lack of interest in sex due to an emotional issue. Here, let's face it, marriage can be challenging, and there are a whole lot of things that come up that really can be a barrier to you wanting to connect with your spouse on a physical level. But what I'm going to suggest is that you push through, because sex is the balm that helps you get past those issues. Unresolved or unspoken issues can really drive a wedge between you. Please stop ignoring it. Please get some help. Start speaking radical honesty with your spouse about how these issues have impacted your interest in sex. I recommend that you do it with a neutral third party, because I bet you probably have gone round and round about the issues and you still end up in the same place. So get a neutral third party to talk about that. And from a physical standpoint, I speak from experience that in my own case, I started going through menopause, perimenopause, and it can wreak havoc on your desire. When your hormones, ladies, are out of balance, you start having hot flashes, you're irritable, your sleep is affected, and the sex life, for me, I had zero interest. And so what I will say is that, I was given recommendations. Oh, try black cohosh, try evening primrose. I tried all that and nothing worked. It would work for a minute and then it just stopped. But I was relentless in my search to find an answer. And that is what I'm asking you to do, to be relentless if you ladies are going through a hormone imbalance. And so understand that men go through hormone imbalances too. I have talked with a number of women whose husband is dealing with erectile dysfunction or low testosterone, where he may not be as interested either. What I'll ask you, ladies, is because men, their sexual performance is often tied to their manhood, to please season your conversation and your words with grace and mercy. But men, there are solutions other than just the little blue pill. But what I want you to do is to stop ignoring it and speak to it. Now, this is going to be probably one of the most difficult conversations that you ever have. But please understand that God created sex for a reason. And if you are not interested and you aren't having it to the level that you are interested in, please talk about it. This week, I did a post where I talked about John and Jane Doe. And John and Jane Doe had a sexless marriage. So John clearly wasn't happy because he found a girlfriend across town. Play-Doh was her name. But he got caught when she got pregnant. And so my question was, who's at fault? Clearly, both of them were at fault. One, because I don't know if they were having radically honest conversation about the state of their sexless marriage. And clearly, John was not happy with that. And so if you have a sexless marriage and that is something that is okay with the two of you, I cannot speak to what is happening in another person's house. However, I am speaking to those who may not be happy with the level of what is happening in their sexual relationship. And I beg of you to talk about it. Years ago, I would never have talked about it. I just wouldn't have, because I just thought that you had to just deal with it. And because it was so sensitive, why even talk about that? But right now, I am talking about it because I want to speak to perhaps what wasn't said to me. And what wasn't said to me is what I feel right now. I want to be my husband's girlfriend. More importantly, I want to be my husband's nasty girlfriend. There was a comedian years ago that said, oh my God, girl, you are so nasty. Do it again. Within the confines of marriage, we're raised a lot of times to believe that something is evil about marriage, but it is not. God created it. Go to Song of Solomon. I call it biblical porn. God created sex. He wants us to enjoy each other. However, we oftentimes start holding on to these beliefs that are just wrong. The Bible says that the marital bed is undefiled. And what that means is if the two of you agree, and one of you is not leaving the room crying, if the two of you agree, what you guys do, you can let it ride. That is your marital bed. You can do what you want as long as the two of you are in agreement. I ended up meeting a woman years ago who she believed that the only way to have sex was one way. We do missionary. This is it. Anything outside of that was under the influence of pornography and that the devil created it. The devil lied to her and she believed it. I do believe at that time she was dealing and working through the second infidelity in her marriage. We have got to confront some of these beliefs that are not biblical. I heard a pastor say today that the devil could not have created something so wonderful as sex. God is so nice. So I had to have those radical conversations I talked about earlier. I had to get myself completely together. I asked my husband, about my physical, how I am around the house. And I was comfortable. He told me that I looked homeless. Not a good look. Not a good look. Not the look that a girlfriend is going to have for her boyfriend/husband. So I had to get myself together. I had to put away my all that super comfortable stuff. And because men are visual. Men are visual. So I had to get lace. I had to get booty shorts. I had to be someone that he wanted to come home to. And I look good. So it was important to me. I also had to be relentless about finding a solution to my hormonal imbalance. So here's something else that really freed me with regards to sex. There are times, honestly, you get busy. There are times that as a woman, you may not be interested, or as a man, you may not be interested. But guess what? You can be your spouse's cheerleader. You can be standing on the sidelines, not laying there like a fish. Go, go, go. You can do that. That thing freed me. It's like, oh my goodness, because if you're just waiting for a time when both of you are just like, oh my, that may not happen. But understand that men are very different in that they may feel emotional connection because of sex. So let's summarize what we talked about. I talked about this lack of interest in intimacy as being an emotional or a physical problem. Please be relentless about handling and dealing with your emotional and physical connections. Do not go around this big elephant in the room. God created sex, not the devil. And I want to quote the marital advice of Biggie Smalls. I'm going to give you an assignment. I want you to Google the words to hypnotize. That is Biggie Smalls, hypnotize. Line 7, he gives some marital advice right there. I choose to see it as marital advice that will free you. So I want you to look that up. And then last, I want to leave you married folks with a question to ask your spouse. I want you to ask your spouse, what is one way I can make an effort this week to enhance the physical connection between us? I'll say it again. What is one thing I can do this week to show and make an effort to enhance the physical connection between us? That could be the start of having really radically honest conversation. So I appreciate you joining me tonight. Please tune in tomorrow for Marriage Monday, where I'm going to cover number 7 of the top 10 marriage killers. Please share my video with anyone who is married, and I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Take care. Bye.